Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters, and so tomorrow we're going to be in the rerun of Penny and Sylveon alongside their story event, because of course the whole, I wouldn't say gimmick of the month, but this little piece of the month here is going to be focused on the Paldea rivals, right? We got Arven debuting 2 days ago, I think, at this point. Penny, of course, with her rerun, and then we're going to be getting Signature Nemona for the start of the run-up to the anniversary, which is awesome, you know, right? We're getting the 3 very popular characters, Scarlet and Violet, very good anniversary bait. All 3 very good characters as well, even though Penny is a rerun. So Penny dropped back in November of 2023, and she's still a really good Sing pair, which of course, you know, there's Sing pairs that are 2 years old at this point that are still considered quote-unquote really good. I would say Penny's above that level, right? You know, great, fantastic even. But point is, obviously, she's not really aged for the most part. If anything, I'd say she has gotten better for the introduction of events that are liking of her gimmicks, I guess you could say. Obviously, she's still got her uses in the Champion Stadium and Legendary Gauntlet, all of that stuff. But now she's actually gained a bit more usage in Ultimate Battles, where we've gotten the release of Argenta, who really, they obviously appreciate Penny's rebuff, right? You know, deactivating Argenta's gimmick. Same thing with Thornton, right? And you know, any other Ultimate Battle that pretty much relies on like status change gimmicks, or maybe stat stealing, right? Giovanni, the new Ultimate Battle of this month, you know, potentially stealing his stats with her Starry Draining Kiss. So if anything, again, Penny has pretty much gained more value from her release instead of falling off at all, which is really good for sure. So I guess let's, you know, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a re-dive into her kit, which I probably don't need to do, frankly, because obviously this is a rerun. She does not gain anything new. She already had her EX roll from release, but still, I mean, why not, right? Anyway, so at 6-star EX, level 140, Penny's got 352 special defense, 325 physical defense, 735 health, and 335 speed. These are fine defensive stats, nothing too bad there at all. 240 special attack as well. Of course, level 150 and the Strike EX roll do give her more stats in all. 825 health. Speed same. Defenses are a little bit more on the defensive spots. 290 special attack. Still not great, but you know, if we've got characters like Anniversary Steven, who work off of sadly similar offensive stats. Good lord, that is so sad. Then of course, you know, Penny could potentially make it work for her as well, right? Oh boy. Anyway. So, looking at Penny's move, she's got Disarming Voice, which is a 2-gauge spammable move, which has no accuracy issues, right? That's pretty good. I'm going to be definitely using her against Latias, so evasion assistance is nice. This is not really a great move in and of itself, of course, but it does, of course, have effects from the passives. She's got First Hit Fairy Rebuff Down, which lowers target Fairy rebuff by 1 rank the first time her attack move is successful each battle. Obviously, Disarming Voice being an AoE move, it will then make that hit all opponents. All of them will get their Fairy rebuff lowered by 1 rank, and of course, that's an amazing buff for all, you know, Fairy Sing pairs. Of course, I would say that Penny is pretty much, obviously, like, Signature Mina exists and whatnot, but for the most part, I would say Penny is about the optimal fairy support, just because she helps out so many characters. She's able to help out Diantha, wherever Diantha is on this list. Obviously, Nemona. There's a little bit of Nemona gaming there, kind of. They're not... Nemona's a physical attacker, of course, but of course... That's redundant. Penny does still lower that fairy rebuff, and there is synergy there with both being Paldea, so the master passive with Nemona gets a little bit of a boost. Point being, there's more synergy with Nemona than not, I would say. You know, Volo, Signature Gladion, of course, is a big benefiter. And, you know, just other characters, like free ones as well. Sycamore, if you want to run striker damage. Not free, but the 2 Palatine's units here. Valerie gained a pretty big buff. You know, triple Sylveon, if you want to run her in the egg. You could do all of that stuff. Point being, fairies gained a pretty big buff from the existence of Penny, even if you're on the physical side, like Alicia or Nemona or, who's the other one? I can't think of, like, BP Valerie, I guess. You know, whatever. Anyway, she's also got Mind Games 9, so again, AoE special defense debuffs with Disarming Voice. That's also very, very nice there. She's got X Special Defense All, which raises ally special defense. Not much else to go into there. Special defense buffs are nice. She is also more specially tanky than physical, so she will be able to take special attacks very, very respectably, whatever. And she has her trainer move VV Power, which applies move gauge acceleration to the field of play. It raises special attack of all allies by 4, raises crit of all allies by 2, and applies gradual healing to all allies. Very, very solid offensive buffing ability with the +4 special attack and +2 crit, and the gradual healing for sustainability and gauge for gauge management, of course. So she covers, I guess, like kind of every base with this trainer move. You know, a little bit of offense buff, a little bit of a defensive buff, and a little bit of gauge management. All of it very, very nice. It is only one usage, but of course, you know, maybe going for trainer move. Actually, she doesn't have trainer move NPR on the grid, now that I think about it. I'm pretty sure she had, yeah, she's got Sync Burst, though. So going for, like, Sync Burst or something in the grid, getting extra usage of this for maxing the offensive stats, extra gradual healing, and extra gauge acceleration could be pretty helpful. If you do want to invest dupes into Penny here, which I will say is definitely not a bad idea. Anyway, and then of course her buddy move, Starry Draining Kiss, which is a 2-gauge 2-use move, 120 power. Activates whenever and move is used once, and then it's deactivated when the move is used. The move never misses. It returns target's raise stats to normal, and then raises the user's stats by the same amount, and restores her HP by approximately 40% of its maximum HP. So this gives her very good sustainability with the healing, and of course the stat stealing could be very clutch as well. There's a lot of game modes that really appreciate the ability to steal stats or debuff the enemy in any regard. Reminder, Latios is a legendary arena. It's pretty much the whole gimmick there. Annabelle is a legendary arena, which I think is not a bad, of course not a bad idea to use Penny there, duh, but like I think stat stealing Annabelle is a little bit less effective than just debuffing her stats, but you can, right? You can still build around that. I'm sure you can work something with Signasuit. A team of like Penny, Signasuit Mina, and Signasuit Gladiator could probably handle Annabelle pretty well, frankly, anyway. Special defense debuff, special attack debuffs, cover the fluid fortification. Again, Penny can steal stats, whatever else, right? And also, again, rebuff is able to cover more ultimate battles. Argenta, most notably, and the stat stealing, again, Ficus Giovanni, so Penny's usage in these ultimate battles, man, it does rise, especially if you obviously invest in her, right? Invest in extra copies for extra things she gains in these extra move levels. Invest in her appropriate partners. Again, Signasuit Gladion's got a ton of firepower behind him. Might be able to substitute Gladion for Signasuit Nimona, depending on what you could potentially look at for her kit. It'll depend on when Nimona, what Nimona can do, right? We'll have to see when she releases and whatnot, but still, for the most part, these abilities that Penny has are pretty good enablers for different ultimate battles and whatnot. So just as a base kit, I would say her kit is pretty good. She also has Team Smart Command 9, increases special moves next when the trainer uses a move, for up to +3 special moves next with usage of her trainer moves. Again, enhancing the special side of the fairy types or just any offensive special attacker in general, right? She's going to be buffing them with that special moves next buffs, right? So that's nice. Again, she is quote-unquote tailored for fairy types, right, with the fairy rebuff and whatnot, but she does obviously apply buffs to all special attackers, with the special defense debuff, special attack buff, special moves next buffs, and overall being a very self-sufficient support, as well as applying the team healing and gauge acceleration, making her good for a wide range of teams. Very, very nice, frankly, as a base kit. My only issue with Penny is that her physical defensive side is not great. If she steals some stat buffs, like some defense buffs or maybe evasion or whatever, I'd say obviously that covers it a little bit better. But still, for the most part, I don't think her stat buffs, her defensive buffs, rather, are not that great. Special defense is fine, but physical defense, definitely lacking a lot more, and I'd say that's probably her biggest weakness, other than maybe a lack of gauge outside of the gauge acceleration. Just food for thought. Anyway, at 1 out of 5, she doesn't really have anything besides Clear-Headed and Stalwart. 2 out of 5, she is able to get X Special Defense, all NPR, Natural Remedy, Quick Cure, Revenge Boost 4, Flabbergast, Brain Power, Group Dragon Guard, and Revenge Boost 4. Group Dragon Guard is not too bad for Latios, I would say, and obviously any dragon type attacking enemy. Obviously, there's Latios is another one, right? I don't think we have. I'd have to think about it more, but I don't think there's any dragon ultimate battles or dragon attacking ultimate battles. At least not any realistically notable enemies. She's got Revenge Boost 4 for extra gauge, and, well, 2 nodes of Revenge Boost 4, actually. Okay, sure. Revenge Boost 4, 2 nodes of Revenge Boost 4, that's very nice. Extra gauge. It does help out, again, with only being able to set gauge acceleration, no speed buffs, so that help is nice. Natural Remedy and Quick Cure, just general abilities to get rid of status conditions and status changes. Flabbergast 4 for getting rid of, applying confusion to the enemy. Could be potentially clutch, but Frankly, a lot of stages have mitigation to confusion anyway, so I'd say this is only immensely helpful on Uxie, but also with Uxie, you got to deal with the fact that you kind of want to use your DPS moves with Penny as it is, and setting confusion too early could be a little bit detrimental, but whatever. Anyway, again, she's also got Brain Power here, which is a sync nuke, basically. Again, she does have the Strike EX roll, so they're trying to give her some damage abilities, and Brain Power enables that a bit more, but frankly, the damage from Brain Power is not going to be that great, I would say, so I wouldn't really worry about trying to actually do much damage with her sync nuke. Unless, of course, you know, like Fairy Week stage, like Fairy Week Champion Stadium or whatever, sure, go for it, but in any, like, higher level content, I don't... And, okay, not Ultimate Battle, Legendary Gauntlet 2, I'd say that could be good, actually giving her a nuke, but outside of those two things, right, where the bar for power is a lot lower in the Gauntlet, where you're mostly trying to preserve teams, and obviously Champion Stadium, the power threshold isn't that high to begin with. I'd say those are the areas where you're mostly going to be able to use Brain Power, but things for, like, probably the high score event, and Ultimate Battles, I probably just would not consider using Brain Power. Anyway, that's her 2 out of 5 nodes. Definitely not too shabby, I guess, especially for being 2 out of 5 instead of 3 out of 5 or higher investment. And speaking of, 3 out of 5, she gets Team Sharp Entry 1, Gauge Refresh 9 on Disarming Voice, Satisfied Snicker, X Special Defense All Shielded 1, Trainer Propulsion, Sync Burst, Training Kiss Master Healer, and Team Fist Bump 3. So, X Special Defense All does apply defense buffs to her and the team, so combined with NPR, this can give her up to plus 3 physical defense, which does help, again, with her lower defense stat. Not bad defense stat, but lower side of things, right? And if she does get debuffed on the special defense, you can, again, keep using this as long as you get the NPR and get even higher physical defense, which is nice, really. Satisfied Snicker 9 for debuffing special attack. This does give her double special debuffs with special defense with Mind Games and special attack with Satisfied Snicker. So double double special debuffs is going to be very nice for activating a lot of multipliers, because a lot of fairies actually do utilize those multipliers that are based off of special stats. Like Diantha, of course, does have Devastation. I think she's also got Overpower somewhere in the grid, whatever it may be. Devastation right there, so that is nice. Bead is obviously pretty much the same case for the most part. He does obviously like having those special debuffs. He does have Baffle buff, Stupefaction, whatever. Well, not Baffle buff, that's confusion, but Stupefaction here, debuffing the special stats, so he does synergize with Penny, and I guess, you know, in that regard, that's pretty cool. Wally, of course, is a very good partner. He's got, which one does he have? Overpower, right? Well, that's for offenses, but he does have the Devastation as the same new part here, so again, more synergy for the most part. Gladion, again, also Overpower, not Brain Power, but Overpower, and whatever else he's got, so that is nice. They do synergize, again, that's the point, is Penny's able to synergize with a lot of fairy characters because of these debuffs, and again, fairies also have more specially based types, so the special defense debuffs are going to be directly helpful there. And again, against Latios, the double debuffs do help. She's got Team Sharp Entry 1 as well for +1 crit. This does give her the ability to max out Team Crit without relying on Train with NPR. You can rely on that, so that is not, well, not Train with NPR, but Sync Burst, right? You don't have to pick up Sync Burst, which I would probably want to pick up anyway, just being honest, but we'll go into that. Disarming Voice, Gauge Refresh 9, just extra gauge abilities, same thing, same case as Revenge Boost, except it's a little bit more consistent and a little bit more reliable. I would definitely prefer getting a Gauge Refresh over relying on getting hit to actually restore gauge, so I do like this. Team Fist Bump 3 for a 40% chance to restore HP of all allies when the attack move is successful. Just a little bit more healing on top of what she's able to do, I guess. Her team healing is not fantastic. Like, of course, the gradual healing is nice, Team Fist Bump's nice, but outside of that, she doesn't have any like big immediate healing like potions or mini potions or whatever, right? Or those healing type of trainer moves. But at least, you know, having that, at least some aspect of better trainer gradual healing, I guess, is definitely nice. So doubling up there, not too shabby. And then but the buddy move with Master Healer as well, giving her extra HP when restored or when using Draining Kiss. That is nice too. I don't really have much to say. I mean, Master Healer, it's good. Trainer Propulsion for reducing sync countdown, just a little bit of sync ramping ability, because I wouldn't say actually a lot of fairy types have sync ramping, but one of the big ones, Sigma Suit Wally, does do quite a bit of sync countdown, so being able to synergize with that is nice, just honestly. And any other, you know, Head Start 1 or -1 sync countdown user. And again, Sync Burst 1, restoring MP when her Sync move is used each battle. This does restore MP to X Special Defense All, Starry Draining Kiss, and VV Power. I do think this is a really good node, just because this obviously does give you the maxed out special stats, the extra gradual healing, and gauge acceleration on the trainer move again. It does give you 1 extra use of Draining Kiss for stealing stats, restoring HP, and whatever else. And again, special defense debuffs too if you don't want to rely on NPR. I do like Sync Burst as a node. I do think it's a very good one to pick up. As for like what grid you should realistically build for Penny, like pretty much every unit, it depends on what you're going to be fighting. But I do like her debuff, so I do think Satisfied Snicker is worth going for. I do think the Sync Burst is something that's worth going for. And then really it would depend on if I want more sustainability, in which case I'd probably go for Team Fist Bump, or if I want some faster Sync countdown, in which I would go for probably Propulsion, because again, that Propulsion also does stack with Sync Burst, to where you'll get -2 Sync countdown by doubling up on the trainer move. Well, not doubling up necessarily, but each separate usage of it will give you -1 Sync countdown. That is good, right? So I do think it really kind of depends how you want to build Penny as to how you should probably build her grid. But hey, whatever you want to do can probably make it work. I do like Group Dragon Guard again for Latias, maybe. That could be good. Just really depends how you want, what you're fighting, how you want to build her, how you want to utilize her. There's a lot of different ways. You can find tons of videos. I know Skinny did a lot of videos where they utilize Penny and Sigma Suit Wally, and if not Wally, Sigma Suit Gladion, and it was either Wally or Mina, or both, frankly. I think that took on some ultimate battles, so that was nice. Penny, still very solid. Just very solid support in general. Very good for fairies, and just very good outside of that. At 4 to 5, she gets on Fortuitous 9, random debuffs, very nice. Again, takes on Latias quite well. Not that she really had issues with that before, again, stealing Latias' stats and then also being able to do a special attack and special defense, but this kind of just like the nail in the coffin for this stupid-ass dragon. So that's pretty funny to think about. We will take those random debuffs, very nice. And again, just good for other stages as well. Annabelle probably appreciates the debuffs as well, so there we go. And then trainer move crit defense 9, applying critical hit defense when the move is successful. You can probably time this pretty well for guaranteed crits in legendary arenas. And of course, it's just naturally useful to potentially not have to run vigilance. You can run a different lucky skill on her, whatever that may be. I'm not really too sure. You know, maybe fast track for something, or stoic, or whatever it may be. You can run that and not have to worry about the crits from potential natural crits, or potentially having the enemy that does the crit hit next on the bar change. There's decent few instances that this is helpful, and again, even in like Stadium or Battle Rally or whatever other game modes you're using, being able to apply crit defense without vigilance is nice, because again, that does open up the lucky skill slot. Maybe Mind Games 2 for double special defense debuffs, or faster special defense debuffs, or Head Start 1, Adrenaline 1, something like that. I do think it does have legitimate usage. And then 5 out of 5, she gets first Sync move on opponent fairy rebuff down, which lowers target fairy rebuff. The first time Sync move is targeting the opponent is successful each battle. This is where the strike roll does gain a benefit, right? This is pretty much the only upside to picking this, other than, again, better offensive capability and lower tier content. Not lower tier, but lower power threshold content. This is where you're mostly going to be making use of the strike X roll. You'll get 2 instances of fairy rebuff, which of course is 50% extra damage on, you get 30% from the first rebuff, an extra 20% from the second one, 50% damage buff total for all fairy type attacks. What else is there to really say? Every fairy type in the game benefits from that. That's very helpful. The only drawback is the investment that you have to actually get that, and of course probably investing in the strike EX roll. And even then, without the strike EX roll, hitting one target in the middle, right, is probably your most important opponent to be targeting, so don't even worry about the sides at that point. You'll probably be fine. So, again, the fairy rebuff is very nice of a node. And then trainer move Brain Gain 9 for just a little bit more special moves next. It does work in conjunction pretty well with Sync Burst 1, so you'll be getting even more special moves next on top of having Team Smart Command. Very nice. So, there we go. That is Penny's entire grid, man. She's got a lot of good tiles. Like, it does not matter really what investment level you do. You can find a lot of good, legitimately useful usage out of all these abilities. I'd say 2 out of 5 is obviously the weakest. It generally tends to be. But I mean, even still with 2 out of 5, the Group Dragon Guard is nice against Latios and Latios Legendary Arenas, the Gauge and whatnot. I'd say this is good for Legendary Gauntlet stuff, just this level of investment. Brain Power helps with the Sync Nuke, whatever, right? 3 out of 5, of course, gives her a majority of her ability. Sync Burst is really, really good. Combine that with like potential team healing with Team Fist Bump, or extra healing on Draining Kiss for herself. Crit buffs for the team, defense buffs for the team, special attack debuffs, all of that. 4 out of 5, the random debuffs is very helpful, and the potential critical hit defense to not have to run Vigilance on your sync pairs maybe could be helpful. 5 out of 5 for the extra fairy damage. Definitely a very, very good tile. I would say that if you're going to be investing in Penny, just as a, maybe like one of your favorite characters or something, or if you really just want to maybe get the most bang for your buck out of your unit, I would say investing in 3 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 are your best bets. 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, and 4 out of 5 I don't feel are as big increases as compared to what you can gain from those other 2 move levels. So those are what I would really recommend. Again, 3 out of 5 opens her kit up a lot more, and then 5 out of 5 really, really helps out fairy types. So if you're really like a fairy main, or if you're really wanting to enhance your fairy types further, 5 out of 5 Penny is an amazing level of investment. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I'll be putting up a Penny showcase tomorrow. Not quite sure yet. My Penny is only 1 out of 5, and I do not plan to invest in her further. I'll be doing daily discounts on her banner in hopes for dupes, and then maybe I'll give her a candy or 2 later. But for now, I'm just going to be sticking to my 1 out of 5 Penny. So maybe there will be a showcase, maybe there won't be. It really just depends on my mood and how I really feel about the Legendary Gauntlet at that point. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, again, that's my thoughts on Penny. Still a really, really good sync pair, even, you know, over half a year, man. It's been 9 months since Penny's release. It does not feel like it's been that long, but hey, she's definitely not aged out. Clearly. I mean, if anything, her usage has only grown with the existence of Ultimate Battles that really appreciate characters who can rebuff or stat steal. Penny is pretty much just taken that upon herself and I guess really made it her own, so that's nice. So let me know what you think about Penny down in the comments below. Let me know if you're going to be summoning for her, maybe as a buff for Sigma Suit Nimona, you know, Penny and Nimona Gaming. Let's go, let's see how that goes. Yeah, I'll see you all later.